3 working prototypes that we've built. We've also done our first in vitro testing. We've got a pretty good IP portfolio for a company in our stage, and we are funded for the next 3 years from an incubator called Zurich in Switzerland. All right. So we have core competencies in 3 main areas. So the first is our ability to manipulate the tip of devices in 3-dimensional space. The second is we can control the stiffness of a device, which means we are able to control the shape of a device when it's been inserted into a patient. And thirdly, we have a mechanism where we can pull catheters forward rather than push them from the back. So we have a tiny little torque construct on the front of a catheter that allows us to move the device forward in 3-dimensional space. It also means it's very unlikely and very difficult for the catheter to get stuck, and we can get access to places that no other devices can within the body. So really we're looking at a skill set for the devices that allows us to help the doctors get further inside the patient's brain to be able to do things that they can't normally do with other systems that are on the market. So the system itself, we have an electromagnetic field generator, which is portable. We can wheel that between hospital rooms. We have a joystick control mechanism, so we've got multiple different ways of controlling the interface and the control of the catheters. So that means the doctor can be next to the patient at the bedside, they can be behind a glass screen within the cath lab, they can be in their office or in a different city. So we have the ability to control from any distance. We also have a hybrid mechanism for advancing the catheters. So the catheters are advanced with a mechanical advancer, and it's very easy to put the catheters in or out of that. So if the doctor wants to have the manual feedback of advancing a catheter towards an aneurysm, they have that, and then they can simply put the catheter back into the mechanical advancer and move forward with the procedure. Just in summary, we've got a platform technology that allows the control and manipulation of catheters, guide wires, and endoscopes in 3-dimensional space within the body. We have multiple large markets that we can go after, and through the analysis we've done, we're going to go after interventional neuroradiology first. We have the ability to mix mechanical advancement and also the doctors to do a hybrid approach. We've got a unique technology, we've got pretty strong patent portfolio around that, and we're looking to try and get our devices into the market in mid-2023 with FDA and CE marking. We're looking for an additional Series A round of 5 million, which will allow us to accelerate the development of the catheters. It'll allow us to accelerate the development of the torque catheter in particular, and the ability to get feedback from multiple countries globally rather than just the European markets we're focusing on initially. So with that, thank you very much for your time, and I'll take any questions that come.
Yes, thank you. And, Matt doesn't know this, but he was muted for the first 20 or so seconds of his presentation. So this is Matt from Nanoflex. So sorry about that, and I didn't say anything important, so we could just move on from there. I think the first question that's come in is, what is your sales strategy?
So the sales strategy in terms of location or in terms of market. So we're looking at the ability to sell the capital equipment at a relatively low margin and then sell the catheters for a higher margin. We're looking at showing the benefit of being able to advance further into the brain than other technologies, and we think we should be able to do it faster and safer than things that are currently on the market.
And are you compatible with basically any type of catheter or guide wire?
So the catheters and guide wires need to be specially manufactured because they need to have tiny little magnetic coils, magnetic rings implanted in them during the manufacturing process. So we could customize devices from any other manufacturer, but essentially what we're looking at is having our own catheters. And you can mix and match our catheters and other devices, other manufacturers' catheters or micro wires, so that they can be interchangeable with some mechanically advanced and steered and some manually advanced and steered.
Fantastic. I know Switzerland has a very strong background in making great guide wires, catheters, etc. So perhaps there's a chance for some collaboration there. And I believe that there are no other questions that I'm seeing right now, but if you want to tell us who is your ideal partner in the US?
So what we're looking for is someone that's got a really good understanding of the catheter-based medical field. So we're looking for investors who've got previous experience of bringing robotic technologies to market or catheter technologies to market, because we need both sets of skills in order to get the product where we think it can go. We also see the opportunity of, once we've got the device in the market for neurovascular, you can use the same device for steering endoscopes or in cardiac or in peripheral vascular. So it's really a platform that can go across all different specialties.
Fantastic. And perhaps next step is to have a little partnership with the gaming company to make it even more fun for the surgeons.
Yeah, we shall.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
And next up, we're proud to announce SpectroPlast and Manuel. They are doing custom manufacturing platform for silicone medical devices. We've got a little bit of 3D printing coming up. Welcome, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, and it's a great pleasure to present SpectroPlast. So SpectroPlast is offers the world's first digital manufacturing platform for custom-made silicone medical devices. My name is Dr. Manuel Schaffner. I'm co-founder and CEO of the company. So digital silicone manufacturers offers for the first time a complementary approach to conventional silicone manufacturing. And conventional silicone manufacturing comes with its own limitations, such as long lead times and high fixed costs. And that's what we're overcoming now with digital manufacturing of silicones. So with digital manufacturing of silicones, patient-specific medical devices can be produced on demand and at economic cost for the first time. And our offering includes, at the moment, an on-demand service that also includes a digital manufacturing platform where customers can directly upload their digital files onto our platforms, which are then being manufactured in our facility and shipped to our global customer bases. But due to the strong market demand that we had over the last few years, we are now also for the first time launching a full production system that includes a medical grade silicone portfolio. And with this, the customers can for the first time manufacture their custom made medical devices on their premise while controlling the full control over the process and also the certification of these products. So over the last 2 years, we had more than 1,000 successful customer projects with industry-leading companies in industries such as industrial, healthcare, and the medical sector. And with digital silicone manufacturing, it really offers a competitive advantage for these customers as it speeds up internal product development cycles and also shorten times to market quite drastically. Our interdisciplinary team of segment-leading experts has managed to bring the company to profitability within less than 3 years, and we enjoy the trust of more than 500 customers globally today. So we are looking for a Series A investment of 5.5 million to further broaden the market offering and expand to the United States with a strong focus on medical and the healthcare sector. And these 5.5 million will help us to reach our target goal of 15 million in the next 3 years. And there's a potential exit scenario. So basically looking at the current market consolidation that we see, we are anticipating a full acquisition with, at the moment, or average implied multipliers of 15x in revenue and 35x in EBITDA. And this would then result in a return of investment of 34x in about 4 to 5 years. With this, I'm already at the end, and I would like to conclude. Thank you for the interest, and I'm happy to take your questions.
Great, thank you so much. So we already have our first questions rolling in. The first is, how about the current competitor landscape now across the field you want to enter? Are there any competitive strategies?
Thank you. That's a really good question. So if you look at the silicone printing space, there's nobody active in that space that can provide medically certified medical grade silicone at such high precision and also with respect to the certification level that we have. So all our materials and processes are certified for long-term skin contact and short-term implantation at the moment. These are ISO certifications, and you can see them on the top right of the screen here.
Fantastic. And beyond medical, you mentioned there are a couple of other industries you're thinking about, but medical is the first entry to the US. Will the others follow on closely?
Medical definitely is our focus. However, as a low-hanging fruit, let's call them, we're definitely also interested in serving industrial products, and this includes grommet, gasket, sealants, and so forth.
Great. We've got the strong medical community in Boston, so well done coming with that one first. Another question coming in is your business model to sell the machines, or are you doing this as a service?
So right now we're doing this as a service, but for specific markets that really need fast product development and control over the process, we do offer also a full production system, so a complete solution. So we are starting to sell machines as well.
Fantastic. All right, well, thank you so much. I think you know where to find him. Get in touch if you're looking to print silicones for medical devices.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. We're welcoming to the stage Deanna, who's with Muvon Therapeutics. It's a women's health company that is tackling urinary incontinence.
We at Muvon are helping people regain control of life by means of regenerative medicine. My name is Diana and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Muvon Therapeutics. We are a clinical stage spin-off from the University of Zurich with the mission to advance a skeletal muscle cell therapy platform for skeletal muscle regeneration. The first disease we want to tackle is actually one that no one likes to talk about, called stress urinary incontinence. It affects over 200 million people worldwide. And what happens is when the abdominal pressure in your body increases, your bladder starts getting pressed and your sphincter muscle is just happening like this. What we do, you'll get in a minute. It's affecting not only elderly people, but 40% of women over 40 are affected by this highly debilitating disease. The market potential is enormous, and the comorbidities surrounding this disease are numerous, ending up even to severe depression cases. What is out there on the market are rather invasive and not that effective operations, and including implantables of foreign materials, and none of them really bringing a cure to those patients, rather just some symptomatic relief option. And this is what we want to tackle with Muvon, leading to not only 8% of the affected women actively seeking treatment, but all of them seeking treatment by bringing real regenerative medicine to them. Remember this muscle? This one is the one we regenerate. We obtain a small muscle biopsy, isolate the so-called muscle precursor cells, then inject them back into the urinary sphincter where they are needed to regenerate this muscle, and the patients undergo sessions of electromagnetic stimulations to further enhance this process. So we don't use any foreign materials, we are minimally invasive, at low risk, importantly no hindrance to childbirth, and potentially offering a cure. How we want to scale up and bring this to the people? By bringing in automation and robust process into the whole system, by making a closed system that can be easily deployed in the different healthcare regions and thus serving those. What we've done so far, for the journey for me started 10 years ago during my PhD at ETH, and then I did the preclinical proof of concept studies, won a $6.5 million Horizon 2020 grant, transferred everything into a clean room, validated process with my team. Then we ran phase 1 clinical trial and just closed it 2 weeks ago, having both safety and efficacy data, and secured funding for phase 2 for the next 3 years, which is also very, very good news for us. But still, we need 15 million for the whole scale-up strategy and bringing our other pipeline indications into first-in-man trials. Who are we? We are a team of highly multidisciplinary and complementary skill set team, very motivated to bring this therapy to the ones in need, of course, backed up by our world-class dedicated advisors with the mission to bring it to the people. And I'd like to end with one quote of one of our patients. "I'm completely satisfied, no incontinence. I also no longer need to use pads. A clear improvement in my quality of life and my well-being." Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I think this is a topic that doesn't quite get enough attention. So I'm going to just take this opportunity to plug Diana and say that she will be back with us in November also to present during a FemTech pitch. So please look for her there, and hopefully you'll have some more results or maybe a little bit more analysis from your clinical trials at that point.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit more about what you're seeing from the very beginnings of that data coming back from the clinical?
We see that the patients are having a happy life, their quality of life is increasing, and we see a really increase in the muscles that they have there.
And is the expectation that that increase will be permanent or at least long-lasting?
Yes, definitely.
Fantastic. Yep. So we don't have any questions in from the audience, so please do add your questions as you have them. But I think another question that we can ask is, how difficult has it been for you having to go through this clean room setup and having to be very obviously precise in the way that you handle these cells? How difficult is it for you to make this larger, have it go to more hospitals and be implemented at a wider scale?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why we are scaling up by bringing automation into the whole system so that it's not that dependent on manual and highly skilled workers. And until now, the magic hands of my team is doing pretty well. And but yet it was tough time, because you can imagine in the lab we had like 7 or 8 protocols how to do this. And in the GMP, it's already 400 documents that we have for this.
Very complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah. And from the audience, they said, do you expect any adverse events from these injections?
None. I mean, it's autologous product, so it is safe. And the sexy part of our cells is actually that they form muscle fibers, and this is their post-mitotic, so they stay there where they are integrated and just start twitching what they should do.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
And you mentioned a few other indications just in passing. Do you want to give us a preview of what any of those might be?
Well, the follow-on is, of course, male incontinence. I don't want to leave the other half of the world untreated. So it happens very often after prostate surgery. Even 27% of men are hesitant of having a prostate surgery because of incontinence. So this is also a huge issue. And afterwards, we can go to other smaller skeletal muscles in the body.
Wonderful. Looking forward to hearing more as you get the data in. I hope you can share with us again in October or
absolutely.
November. So again, another plug. Rejoin us in November for another pitch competition.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alicia.
So next up, we have Christina with TERAPET. TERAPET is a completely different area of research, creating a medical device to ensure precision proton therapy. The floor is yours, Christina.
Thank you very much. So, should I start? Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Christina. I'm the CEO and the co-founder of Therapet. So before founding Therapet, I've been working as a physicist at CERN for the last 12 years. So at Therapet, we're developing a novel medical device that will act as eyes for the doctors during the proton therapy for cancer treatment. So let me tell you what proton therapy is. So proton therapy is a new technology using high energy particles to treat cancer. It's the most precise radiotherapy in the world and provides the patients with minimum damage to healthy tissues and organs. In Boston, you actually have the first proton therapy centers in the world. So although the proton therapy itself is extremely precise, all the treatments today are only relying on simulations, and there's no real-time monitoring during the treatment, and the doctors are not 100% sure about where inside the patients the protons really arrive. Because of this, the doctors have to be conservative. When they plan the treatment, they have to add large margins around the tumor in order to make sure that all the cancer cells are killed. If the tumor has the size of clementine, why would you treat as orange? So this is exactly what we want to change at Therapet. Our device is an add-on medical device to the existing proton therapy facilities. It's a non-invasive medical device placed close to the patients during the treatment and measure where inside the patients the protons arrive. So for the first time, the doctors will be able to see where inside the patients the protons arrive in 3D, in real time, in vivo, and in a non-invasive way. By knowing where exactly inside patients the protons arrive, we can further reduce the margins around the tumor. So for the doctors, the treatment will be more precise. For the patients, the treatment will be safer. And also for the proton therapy facilities, the treatment will be faster. So Therapet's technology is a platform technology, so one technology with multiple applications. So proton therapy is only our first journey, and we believe that we have many great applications to do in the future. So we are a team of experienced physicists coming from the world's most well-known research institute, renowned field experts, and experienced businessmen, strongly supported by the Swiss startup ecosystem, as well as on the European level. So we are confident to bring our company to the next level. So we are a fast-growing team. Within less than 1 year since the incorporation of our company, we managed to raise more than 3 million Swiss franc and dollar equivalent. And today we are 10 people working on the full-scale prototype ready for CE certification. So we are working with the world-class research institutes, and currently we are raising our Series A, and I would like to benefit this opportunity to invite new investors to join us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Christina. You know, it's not every day when we're doing a biomedical event that we have a physicist come, and particularly that we have someone from CERN. So it's a real treat to have somebody with a different perspective. From the audience, they asked, what technology are you using to image tumors?
Image tumors. So the technology to image the tumors, the usual ones that we're using is the positron emission tomography, so that you can, normally you inject like a tracer, radioactive tracer in your bodies, and the body lights up like a Christmas tree, and you image it, and you know exactly where inside the patient's the tumor is located.
Fantastic. So I know that one of the things is that there's not that many proton facilities in the US and in the world. Can you tell us a little bit about what your strategy is for getting into those proton centers and what feedback you need?
Yeah, so today there are actually over 120 facilities around the world. So you might think it's a small number, but in each facilities you have 3 to 4 treatment rooms, which means potentially we can sell 3 to 4 units per each facilities. So already with a unit price of $1 to $2 million, so our strategy is that our device will cost more than $1.5 million each. So already with that pricing, so our addressable market is already $750 million today, and we are expecting that the market will be double every 5 years. So in about 10 years' time, so it will be like a $7 billion market, hopefully.
And actually, I jumped the gun a little bit, coming back to the last question. So there was just a clarification. So they're asking, so you have a PET-CT inside the proton therapy device, or is it slightly different?
PET, actually, the thing is that we are developing our detector ourselves. So we are not using a conventional PET machine or a CT machine. So our detectors is a really homemade in-house development. So it's actually, if I can claim that it's better than a usual conventional PET machine with a higher resolutions compared to the usual one.
Oh, great. So you said you're looking for funding. Is there anything else that you're looking for from the Boston community while you're here?
Exactly. So as I said, in Boston, we have the first proton therapy facilities in the world. So the history of proton therapy is long. So we would like to look for research partners, also like a pilot customer to test our device. That would be great.
And you'll be in the US for a few weeks more, right?
Yeah, so I would like to come back for the boot camp that we have.
That's true.
Right?
Christina will be interacting with Swissnex again later in the year. So there's plenty of opportunities to talk with her, but don't wait because it's a hot technology.